The tape rolling.
Yes. One more drink and I'm going home.
Now we're out.
Okay.
Nikki calls
Good morning.
Coach a liar.
We appreciate the opportunity for us to tell you our 2017 story. While we await official Q4 results, we can project that we'll land in the $135,000 range in lodging tax revenues on gross rents of $4.6 million, both high water marks. We would like to thank everyone involved in providing a true Seneca County experience to all of our guests. I'd like to now call on Brittany Cook, Marketing Director of Destination Seneca County, to provide the details. Britt?
It's awesome to be back.
Good to have you back.
Oh, wonderful. We have good lighting.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first thing I wanted to talk about, even though we're going over 2017, is the 2018 Heartland Travel Showcase, which we actually just got back from on Sunday. It was in Buffalo, New York this year. I was actually at my third year. Deb came with me. This is her second. To give you a brief overview of what Heartland is, the Ohio Travel Association organizes it, and it invites exhibitors and tour companies to this annual event where we have our booths and then we set up appointments with the tour operators. So we have, I had 23 appointments this year, which is actually really good. It's the most I've had. Compared to some other people we had talked to, it was a very high number this year because they had less tour operators than usual.
Is this a national show?
No, it is just regional. Most of them are from Ohio, Michigan, Illinois, Pennsylvania, the Heartland.
Okay.
But there are tour operators that come from like California. We had some from North Carolina. So anybody that would like to visit the Heartland is who comes. We give out brochures, tour information, preset itineraries. We have 6 minutes to talk to each of the tour operators, and then they have a section called the 4-minute meets, where if we were not able to schedule a meeting with them, we can go up and give them our information, and they can come back and talk to us when they have breaks. We had a total of 31 meetings, including the scheduled and the unscheduled meetings out of 59 of the tour operators that came. So I was very, very pleased with the number we had met with. And we had a lot that actually came back to the booth and talked to us. Basically, all we do is explain to them what we have here, and we have a lot of things here. A lot of them don't always understand that we have a broad range of attractions. We also networked with a lot of other exhibitors. We are grouped by region, so like we were right next to Lake Erie Shores and Islands. Destination Toledo is across the way, so we can talk to other regional exhibitors, and then we also met with like ones from New York, Pennsylvania, just to get ideas what to do next year and how to improve what we already are doing. Okay. The 2018 visitor guide has gone out. We distribute it throughout the county. We actually had already included in the Advertiser Tribune. We also send them out to other counties like Sandusky. We've had some requests from Lake Erie Shores and Islands. They distribute our guides as well as we have theirs in our office. We've already sent about 25,000 out around the state. They're at Ohio Turnpike locations. We use AdRack, which takes them to tourist information centers, and we also go with Ohio Travel Pavilion. They actually set up booths around at travel shows around the state and the region that we can't always go to. So they have a huge display of all of these brochures from us, from other locations. They make it to about, I think about a dozen shows in adjacent states. Here's our quarterly lodging tax from 2012 to 2017. Like John had mentioned, we do not have the fourth quarter yet, but as you can see from 2017, we're very happy with our third quarter and our earlier quarters. So I'm very pleased with these numbers as we continue to market Seneca County, and we're hoping to have a great fourth quarter. We're hoping to continue that upward motion with more advertising. As we get more funding in through the lodging tax, we have more opportunities to promote our county. And then the more people that come in and so on and so on. So to go backwards, 2017 tours, we had some major tours come in. As I'm sure you guys know, the Great Ohio Bicycle Adventure came in June. I was one of the major organizers for that. We are very happy with the results. We had about 1,500 riders, and then they also had their support staff. They loved our community and they definitely want to come back. It might be a couple years just based on how they do the tours, but we had so many great comments. We know what we did well, we know what we would change, so I'm definitely prepared to do it again. We also had Good Sam come in July. We worked extensively with them this year. This is the first year that they have actually talked to me and wanted more information. I put together a day tour and a monuments tour for them. Some of the other group tours that we did that are a little bit smaller than, you know, like the GOBA. We didn't have 1,500 people for these. Last February we had Norwalk homeschoolers come by. It was an educational trip. We visited the Franciscan Earth Literacy Center, the Ritz, the museum, and then Granny B's. We had Star Tours come in from Pemberville in April. They had a mystery tour, so they didn't know where they were going. We hit
Know how to get there, right?
Well, yeah, yeah. They just got on the bus and trusted their tour operator. We hit Gilmore Ordnance, Reno's, the Doll Museum, and the Grandma's Brown House, and the Granny B's. And I also did a step-on tour, which I got on the bus and talked about some of the local history. In April, we had the Galleon tour come through. We had about 16 people, and it was a church group. So we had Granny B's, they went to Clover, and then visited the Ritz. We also had the Airstream group come in June. About a dozen people came in, and they visited the Glass Museum and the Civil War Museum. Some additional updates. This past year I had the opportunity to attend the Ohio Tourism Leadership Academy, which is through the Ohio Tourism or Travel Association, excuse me. They had 6 classes throughout the year. From January to June, and it was an opportunity for people like me to learn about the industry, to make connections and network with different parts of the industry. We had meeting at the Parks District. We went to the State House, just connecting with people who could help us with what we're doing and how we can improve. My biggest part that I learned from it was the networking. That's what I really liked, because a lot of it was focused on larger groups, larger counties, but I met a lot of great people that we can work with in the future. This past year, I also joined the Heritage Festival Board representing the Chamber, where I'm helping mostly with the marketing and development of promotional materials, like the brochure you see here. We're trying to get information out sooner because we want to get more people here. So with this year coming up, I will talk about that later in the presentation, but we're working on trying to promote it more. Deb and I have also talked at the small business class at Tiffin University. We have done it 2 years in a row, and I think we're doing it again this year. We give them an overview of what the Chamber does and what DSC does, and we answer some questions about small businesses, the Chamber, and what they can do to get involved here, and when they graduate, what they can do to get involved in wherever they end up. Some of the radio interviews we've been doing, we've been trying to get in monthly, but sometimes we have to reschedule. We're talking about upcoming events, programs, and all other things that we include in our newsletter, just to get another aspect of the community, you know, ones who don't get our newsletter or don't get the newspaper. Recently, we had some interns do the Glass Museum website. We noticed that there were some issues. It had gone down this fall, so we had an intern learn how to use Wix and a web creation site. I'm sure you guys have seen all the commercials, and we helped recreate their website. We also helped them learn how to use Wix, so they can, which was definitely easier than their past website editor. So they've taken ownership of that and have been able to improve that as they've learned how to use it. We've also updated our newsletters, websites, and social media over the past year. We reach about 2,000 through constant contact on our newsletters, about 3,000 on our social media, although there is some overlap with the newsletters. Since I started, I took over both the DSC and the Chamber newsletters and websites. We have continued to improve the content and want to try to keep that updated because tour operators do look at that, visitors look at that. In 2016, we completed work on both updated websites, and we, like I said, continue to update that as we go. For our interns, we have had many Chamber interns, and I've had a few DSC interns. We try to get 1 to 3 a semester from both Tiffin University and Heidelberg University. We're also trying to send some to our locations, like our museums that need the help. We use them specifically in the DSC section for the visitor guide last semester, and then the Casino Royale this semester. And now we're going to be using them to like update some of the brochures that we gave out during Heartland. So we got some ideas as we drove to Buffalo, some updates. So I did pass out to you guys the rat cards that we have made. We had public art and walking tours. The Tiffin Art Guild had an intern that did a report and took photos and gathered all this information. So we put together a set of tours and brochures with that information. That actually was one of the biggest things that we marketed during Heartland. That was something that a lot of the tour operators found interesting. We have definitely plans to make more, and I will talk about that in a minute. Included in that little packet is the restaurant rat cards. Basically, we just put together a little rat card of all the restaurants in both Tiffin and Seneca County. And then the quarterly rat cards, I do not have examples of those yet because they have gone to print. So we have kept that up over the past couple of years. Okay. For those who have the packets, I'm just going to briefly talk about these. This is the some of the ads that we have done. These are the enhanced listings that we do in the Ohio magazine calendar. These are just the ones that we've done in the past year, and they always do about 2 per issue. And here are some of the examples of the ads that we've put in the Ohio magazine. I did not do these, they did them, so we kept things consistent, as you can see through. Some of these are print, these are over here are web ads. These are the ones that we've done in the seasonal guides that are kind of through the AT. As you can see, we are consistent with our marketing, and these are the ones that I have done. Again, just I've updated the pictures. We also did one for the museums. This is in our group travel leader. These are our group travel leader ads. These go out, it's kind of through Heartland, and they produce it and send it out regionally. And here are some examples of our 2017 billboards. This is the one that we have on 23, and this also goes on our electronic billboard. Again, these are ones that I have produced for events and for some of our locations. Some of these are also chamber related. As you can see, our events, what we do is if somebody would like something on the billboard, I will design it, but as long as the chamber logo is on it, they can be up there. Again, more that I have done. These are some that have been designed by others and then just sent in. To touch on to the 2018 plans, we have several upcoming tours that I'm working on now that I'm back from Heartland. In about April and May, we have some people coming in. Most of them are historical tours that they want to do. The walking tours, like I mentioned, we are working on developing some countywide tours. Now that we have these produced, we want to get more like driving tours of some of the local monuments. With the Heritage Festival, again, I'm working on the media with the 40th anniversary. We actually have a meeting on Thursday that we're going to be talking about how to get all of the things planned and out to the public. We're also going to be working on our Christmas events. We do produce a brochure that we've done the last 2 years, and we do help organize some events during that time. In the visitor guide, we will be already starting updating it for next year. We're hoping to get it out even earlier than we did this year. We got it out in the first week of January. So as long as we can get events from people, we can get it out early. And again, we will continue to advertise in the ways that we already have been. We're looking at some avenues of other places where we can advertise. And again, this is not possible without the support of everyone in the community, including like the downtown Tiffin organizations and our businesses and attractions. So, any questions?
Are we advertising on social media at all?
You mean like with Facebook?
Facebook ads?
Not yet, but we are looking into it.
Okay, because I know when I travel, it's either Facebook or Google. I'm doing, I'm Googling what is there to do, or where can I eat,
Right.
where can I stay, and to the extent that we can drive traffic that way, even if we're poaching out of Sandusky, Hancock, or Wyandotte County, I think it makes sense to have those, because we can make those ads as enough
Right.
specific information that.
And that's something we're doing, especially with the lodging tax funding, that we have more options to advertise. So that is an idea that we have going forward to.
Yeah, and have we ever done any kind of self-audit of, like our Yelp or our, any of our service industries that bring travelers here? Have we ever done a self-audit to see if there's accurate information out there on the number of restaurants or the
Not yet.
hotels or anything
But
like that?
we definitely have the interns that we can look into that for us. Yeah, it's a good idea.
I mean,
Yeah,
social
figure out what
media is
people.
where it's at.
Yeah, figure out what people are saying about us. Yeah.
Yeah, TripAdvisor, I mean, all those things to
Mhm.
make sure that we're monitoring all those sources of information that people are getting for traveling here.
We can add that to our to-do list.
I know in the years past, it was always reported with the lodging tax that, we kind of met our capacity because of availability of rooms. Do we still see that hit, like with this third quarter being so high? Was that possibly that we're maxed out?
Anecdotally, Holly, yes, we get that information from the hotels specifically, saying there's not rooms to be had in Seneca County on any given night, and that is a true story. Do we have capacity? I don't think we have very much capacity left. There's always room for a new hotel in this market.
Do you have any idea what the occupancy rate percentage is in the hotel?
That's published by Stars, and that's kind of held close to the vest by the hotels. I think 85 would be a good number.
Okay, but I mean, because they say once it reaches 80%, at least in the hotel business, that it's time to put another one up.
That's right.
Yes.
You mentioned in 2017 you had several groups come in to the county. Can you tell me how many of those groups you took to Fostoria, either to the museum or the railroad park?
Last year we didn't have any. It just depends on their requests. I did mention to them that we have that option. They are very aware that we have that option. So this year I'm hoping to get more over there and working with that CVB as well.
And the Fostoria Visitor Services reaps the benefits of the
Yes.
Fostoria Hotel's bed tax,
Exactly.
not you guys, right?
But again, it goes with the requests of the tour group.
I noticed in the material you passed out here that I didn't, unless I missed it, you didn't mention either the museum or the rail park in any of these.
Well, that's just the walking tour for Tiffin of the public art and monuments.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
The rail museum, or the rail park and all that information is included in the visitor's guide, and we do encourage our tour groups to go there as well.
Did you have copies of the new visitor's guide?
Yeah.
I think we've seen it, but.
I think you guys have copies.
Yeah, we do, I won't, yeah.
Yeah. I do have copies here. Any other questions?
But if you would leave a few here.
Absolutely, I can leave all these here.
They dropped them off last week, I
Did
think.
they?
They're all
Okay.
up
I
there.
got one back
So we
there.
have some available.
Yeah, I'll give you these as well.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Good job, Ruth.
As you know, our relationship with the chamber board has to change a little bit as commissioners because the Attorney General recently issued an opinion that said a commissioner can't serve directly on the chamber board if they're also the visitor bureau board. So we'll have to redefine that relationship.
And we are extremely flexible, in terms of doing what needs to be done to make sure that you folks are in the loop at all times.
I'm sturdy, but I'm not flexible.
John, Brittany, and Deb, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure
Thank
to
you for
have
the
you.
opportunity.
Okay, any other business?
We had some resolutions, yeah.
Yes, anything else? Okay.
Questions
Charlie,
for Charlie?
Questions?
We have some
Okay.
questions on a couple of things that, why don't you go ahead with?
I am here. The two resolutions I asked to pull out was the administrative agreement, Seneca County Economic Development Revolving Loan Fund, and the amendment for our borders for the Republic and Bloomville project.
Sure.
You know, the question on the SIEDC was, is there another loan fund, or is this part of what we're talking about already here?
That's what we currently already have.
Okay, and what relationship does economic development have with that?
This is the Economic Development Revolving Loan Fund that we in Seneca County currently have. But per the requirements of that revolving loan fund, the ODSA has to have final administrative authority over that to tell us, yes, it's okay, no, it's not. This is something that, this contract agreement is something you do every 2 to 3 years as the county.
Is
So
it
it's
tied
not-
into Seneca Industrial Economic Development Corporation?
No, it is not.
This is just economic development in a generic sense.
In a generic sense for the
Okay.
revolving loan fund. Does that help?
Yep,
Yep.
it
Okay.
does. Thank you.
No problem?
Well, I guess we gotta get it passed first, because we didn't pass it.
And then the other one was the Village of the Republic in Bloomville.
Yeah, what, you're resubmitting that?
Yes, the Village of Republic's critical infrastructure grant, we had to do some massive revisions on it due to their system not speaking to our system, and they changed some wording, and it was an issue. So I went to Columbus, met with Elizabeth, we went over it, and they asked that we reduce the administrative fund to a certain percentage not to exceed $20,000. So I said, I'll just get a new resolution to include that in the paperwork we submit, and she said that'd be fine, just to show that, so that's what we're doing there.
And what, okay. So I would need a motion to approve resolution involving revolving loan fund and also the critical infrastructure grant.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Thomas?
Yes.
Commissioner Stacy?
Yes.
Commissioner Kirschner?
Yes. Okay. Any other business for the good of the county?
One thing I do want to point out, just so that we're clear with all our constituents, is, so what we approved today for the annex was $417,700. 120,000 of that was for the server room, reconstruction, fire suppression, climate control that's required there. Just as this issue has drawn out for a while, so I have to keep track of all that.
Significantly under original estimates.
Can I quote you on that?
And the money has been allocated. Okay, any additional comments? Yes.
Since I am here, and you guys did the approval for the fund for the CDBG funds for 2017, I just wanted the public to be aware of how much money Seneca County is receiving and how many projects we're going to be doing. It's kind of monumental. We are going to be bringing in $297,000 from CDBG funds. The reason we're getting so much is because 2016 was a carryover. We'll never be allowed to carry over again. Per ODSA, but then they can change their rules tomorrow, so let's remember that. But also, we are on a biennial now, so we get 2 years worth of funding at once. So Seneca County was kind of a unique animal, and we got 3 years worth of funding at once, and that worked out great. Per the Community Development Implementation Strategy meetings and the Commissioner's approvals, we had 5 projects that we went with, and we were awarded all 5 of those projects from the CDBG grant. At this point in time, we have received release of funds on several of those projects, and we will be getting those started. One of them is something new for Seneca County through CDBG, and that's the Homelessness Prevention Program. It will be administered by Tiffin Seneca United Way, and it will help with up to 3 months delinquent rent or mortgage payments, or first month's rent and deposit to help avoid homelessness. There are income limit requirements and application processes have to be done.
How much is that portion of the grant?
That portion of the grant is $44,500.
Okay, I know they're working hard on trying to couple some resolution, and it pays for up to 3 months, you said?
Up to 3 months of delinquent rent or mortgage payments or first month's rent and deposit to avoid eviction or homelessness.
So it doesn't pay forward. In other words, if somebody comes they can't get 90 days worth of rent someplace.
No, they cannot, not from us, from this program.
Okay, not from that program.
Yes, there may be other potential programs out there. This is great because the income level for this program actually fills a gap. The typical income levels are very low. This is 80% of the county median, up to that. So the programs that are out there, they do have requests for families who are over their limit, but do not exceed 80%. So referrals will be coming into United Way quite extensively from other service agencies. So we're saying beginning of March, we're gonna probably be starting this program and getting things rolling.
Okay, so explain to me the rules of that one more time. Are the rules regarding delinquent rent and those kind of things, are they established by the grant, or can the local grantee establish the rules of how that money is spent?
We established those when we wrote the grant as the local grantee and working with United Way and how other programs work. So if you are 2 months behind on your rent and your landlord says, hey, I want you out, you just need a letter from the landlord that says you could potentially be.
Well, here's the problem. Typically, people come to that organization because they are indeed homeless at this point. And they need some assistance into the future, hopefully some counseling, et cetera, that'll get them back on their feet and hopefully another job. They might need 90 days to do that. To pay for past sins sometimes doesn't get, at least from my standpoint, doesn't get them back on their feet. It basically just gets them even. So hopefully we can look at it from a standpoint of kind of paying into the future to get them back on their feet at some point.
And we may be able to do that. What's nice about this program is the first month's rent and deposit will get them in. And then working with Pat Damani from United Way, we thought that one of the great things that we should include with this program is that whoever receives assistance would then not be mandated, but would be strongly urged and request to attend Financial Peace University Counseling and Education, so they understand how to use their finances much better.
Yeah, this is the idea, that we can get them back in the workforce. Right.
Get them back in the workforce, get them in stable housing and moving forward. Also, the nice thing about this is they'll be able to work with other entities that could potentially help pay them forward a little further. Can't use all of our money, but we may be able to use some. So that's one of the programs. The other program that has a release of funds coming is for Clinton Township. Their fire department requested services with equipment. And I do not have that last list of equipment with me today because, well, that's just how it works, but there's a lot of stuff. We're looking at pagers, radios. I believe there's some, and I am not a fireman, so don't, what I say, I'm not trying to offend anybody, but the best way I can put it is very cold water wetsuits. So the wetsuits for using in the cold water, the gloves, the masks, the whole suit, so I think they've requested a couple of those as well. And that is a $60,000 allocation from the CDBG program, and Clinton Township is contributing $5,000 towards that. So those funds are released. We're just getting everything established so we can meet with them and order the products and get those things to them to help keep their citizens safe. So those two have been released out of the 5, as well as our administration of fair housing. We are waiting on the funds to be released for the Village of New Rigo sidewalks, the Seneca County CSB restroom upgrades on the first floor to take care of the accessibility modifications that are required, and the New Rigo Sewer District upgrades to their pump systems. Really nice for the New Rigo Sewer District to get these kind of funds because we already know that their quarterly bills they're large because of the expenses that go into operating that sewer district. And if we had to add on repairs, that then would be added on to their bills. And this definitely saved those residents on their bills. We're able to reduce, well, not reduce, but they won't have to pay that cost. So it's a wonderful service. So just wanted to get you guys up to speed on that real quick.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. Any other business we brought before this commission? If none, I'll accept the motion to go into executive session.
Pending litigation.
Pending litigation? So
Pending
moved.
litigation.
Second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Thomas?
Yes.
Commissioner Stacy?
Yes.
Commissioner Fisher?
Yes, we do not expect any action. However, can't promise anything.